Pluralistic Reality of the Nepali Language, Indigenous Linguistic Contributions, Culturalization, and Linguistic Policy Controversies by Dr. Nawa Raj Subba, independent researcher. Summary. Rejecting Nepal's multilingual and multicultural realities, institutions such as the Academy have called for language standardization. This threatens to make the contribution of indigenous languages invisible and increase the dominance of Sanskrit-centric Nepali languages. This study gives reasons in favor of a pluralistic model of the Nepali language, comparing linguistic inclusivity, acceptance of indigenous words, and international language policy. Nepal's linguistic landscape exemplifies complex multilingualism and cultural diversity. However, the tendency of institutions, including the Academy, to reject vocabulary from indigenous languages in favor of pure Nepali poses a significant impediment to linguistic inclusiveness. This research focuses on three main dimensions. 1. Historical fact. The Nepali language emerged from a combination of Khaz, indigenous, and Sanskrit. 2. Current controversy. The Sanskrit-centric language policy seeks to obsolete the contribution of indigenous languages. 3. Alternative model. Simulating the multilingual policies of countries such as India and South Africa. It presents an analysis from the perspective of the natural evolution of language, cultural justice, and linguistic rights. Keywords: linguistic pluralism, indigenous language, culturalization, language policy, history of Nepali language. Research method, research framework. This study incorporates three major approaches by adopting a qualitative research method. Method of historical analysis. Policy analysis method. Comparative analysis method. Data collection method. Primary data. Secondary data. Data analysis method. Thematic analysis. Comparative analysis. Historical analysis. Findings and discussion. Cross-tribal linguistic interaction. Multidimensional forms of linguistic interaction. Historical paradox of Sanskrit-centric policy. International perspectives. Linguistic inclusion. UNESCO's language conservation framework. Problems in Nepal's language policy. Problems with solutions in Nepal's language policy. Possible solution. Suggestions for pluralistic language policy. Conclusion. The new era of linguistic justice. Nepal's linguistic future should be built on the model of plurality and unity. 4. A. Historical justice. Nepali language should officially recognize indigenous contributions. B. Educational empowerment. Teaching in the mother tongue increases educational access by 60%. World Bank, 2021. C. Digital inclusion. Special emphasis should be placed on technology as it can protect small languages. The concept of prosperous Nepali by abandoning the illusion of pure Nepali. It is very important to adopt the current linguistic reality and develop the idea of prosperous Nepali by abandoning the concept of pure Nepali. This concept leads to making Nepali language mixed, flexible, and inclusive. According to the proposed linguistic structure in Nepali language, Nepali should include 40% words of Sanskrit origin, 30% words from indigenous languages, 20% words from English or other foreign languages, and up to 10% regional linguistic variations. This linguistic diversity is presented in line with the fundamental rights of the Constitution, Article 32, and the Directive Principles of State Policy, Article 51. The basis of linguistic justice is to develop Nepali language and other national languages of Nepal on the same ground. For this, the language policy should be implemented not only in policy, but also in a way that gives equal opportunities in educational curriculum, media, and administrative implementation. Thanks. By an independent researcher, Dr. Nawa Raj Subba.